Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Um, just put in the chat. Let me know you could hear me and see me. I believe the sound is tuning in now. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I knew it wasn't picking up. I don't know. I just unplugged the microphone. Anywho, you guys, thank you for tuning in on this wonderful Thursday. I really appreciate you taking the time out up on the holiday to tune in to this episode of Business Talks. We're going to talk about Joe Biden today. He met with the governors of, I guess you could call these governors are on the short list of replacing him. These governors, they're saying that we are going to rally their support behind Joe Biden. They wanted to meet with him personally. I guess they tried to uh, meet with Kamala Harris, but they was like, no, we want to meet with Joe Biden personally because we want to make sure he's of sound, of good health and strong mind. And I guess he convinced them. I don't know who convinced them. I'm pretty sure Jill Biden was there and his son convinced them that he is not willing to drop out the wet race and they're going to continue to support Joe Biden, even though his health and mental capacity has declined. So they're going to keep on pushing this good fight until somebody say, okay, we're going to force him out. Anywho, we're going to talk about that. Joy Reid, she don't went on a rant because several Democrats stepped out and came forward saying, hey, we need to replace Joe Biden. She doesn't like it, so she went on a rant. And then we got some other news that I want to talk about. Since this is a special episode, happy Independence Day, we're going to play the ever classic of Whitney Houston singing the Stars Bangle Banner. And this was a classic performance. I really love this song. She's sent chills up my spine when she performed this. I don't know if you guys remember this. This was at the Super Bowl 1991 Super Bowl, and this is Whitney Houston. This was a classic performance of Whitney Houston. This was back when everyone was proud to be an American. Despite the things that we were going through, even the racial discrimination, we were proud to be Americans. Okay, we held the flag up high, and we took pride in our flag. We didn't get mad when we saw someone raising the United States flag. I mean, come on now. But now we're far. I don't know what happened to our society. What happened to the respect for ourselves? What happened to Black excellence? Now they get some half-ass singers to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and then they'll change the words to make it sound downtrodden and how horrific America is. But this is what we need to get back to, the respect for our country and for each other. Anyway, Whitney Houston, I love her. She sent chills up my spine every time I hear that song. So we're going to get to the first story I want to talk about. And this story, this is kind of a hoax. I kind of talk about Cenat every now and then. He's I guess a YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch stream sensational. He's a young guy. He does stuff very extravagant. He had a stream last night with Mr. Beast, and they decided to stockpile his room with fireworks, and it was a hoax, you guys. But it was kind of crazy because the guy that was with him, the guy that was with him on this stream, He decided to launch the fireworks and in the actual room where all these fireworks were. It was really ridiculous. And so somebody, the stream ended up shutting down, and everybody was like, okay, did he just burn his place down? But coming to find out, it wasn't his place. This was I guess, how Mr. Beast, he does do a lot of production. He has a production studio. So I'm assuming that they staged this place to look like his, and they set it on fire. I think it's immature of them, because I'm wondering, did these people, where they staged this at, were it near neighbors or whatever? So this is from the stream.
Bro, what's my mother? You just say in my room, I'm gonna be dumb tight, bro. I swear to God, bro. What's my mother? There won't be no crib. All my life, there wouldn't be a crib. All my life, there would not be a crib. Alright, what am I mother? I swear to God, y'all gonna hate me, bro.
Okay. This is why he has 6 million followers, because he does stuff like this. I wouldn't have did this, but you can't tell this to a younger person. This, and it says they actually noted the stream. Before I get to the note, but someone was filming from another location. I guess they know where this location was, and they haven't had community notes yet. So I'm not for sure if this is fake or what. But somebody is saying, oh, they're filming.
Holy shit.
Did you get that?
Fuck yeah, I'm videoing it. What the fuck?
I think that might be a gas station or something.
Fuck yeah, it's a gas. Whoa! Oh! What the? Holy.
So whoever, if we know it wasn't Kai Cenat house, because it would have been all over the news. But they put on here, oh, this is Kai Cenat house live footage. So I'm surprised they haven't did any community notes to this. You might be wondering, like, Chawanne, why are you talking about this? I just want to talk about it, something light and fun. But it was staged, you guys. This was totally staged. It says this was a pre-planned stunt by Kai Cenat and Mr. Beast using a fake room design for this video. Also, pictures on the house fire he posted later from the different mansion was from 2018. So, and there were several posts about, him burning down the house. And, some people thought it was real. So they was like, oh, this is what's wrong with Black culture, blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast, he's one of those guys who's like built his brand. He's $1 billion man now, just off of YouTube or social media. And I'm pretty sure he would have made sure that he wouldn't have been attached to just burning down a house in a neighborhood randomly. Like, I know he wouldn't have did that. But anyway, not to say Kai Cenat does that kind of stuff, but he had another streamer online with him. Anywho, so that's that, just in case you want to know about what's going on with that. So we're going to get to Joy Reid. Joy Reid is going down the hill. You know what? She is one of the most deranged person. When they talk about Trump deranged syndrome, Joy Reid face comes up. She comes up. She comes up and oops, I didn't mean to do that. She comes up as the definition. Her face. Look, she looks crazy. Joy Reid, you look better with the Trump wig. What is this? You got too much forehead going on. Put the wig back on. I was clowning you over the wig, the blonde wig, because it wasn't matching. It wasn't blended right. But I prefer you with the wig. You need to have a bang for this forehead. But Trump derangement syndrome, Joy Reid, she fits that definition. Check what she says. Now she's going to repeat this. She repeats this on her live readout show, I guess it's called.
Gonna be. Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I gotta vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House. That's all I want to know. Who I gotta vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. Y'all do your thing. Play in traffic all you want in front of these Republicans, acting a fool in front of these people instead of privately declaring your stuff. But don't text me no more, because I'm not taking no more of these texts. Just let me know when you guys are finished figuring it out, Democrats, because I know y'all the freak out people. Go ahead and freak out. Have your conversation, and then let me know.
It's funny how she says y'all the freak out people, but you're a part of that people. You're freaking out right now. You're mad because some people stepped up and said, no, Joe Biden needs to step down. And you're mad because, and then you call Trump Hitler. It's like, no, he doesn't even resemble even close to somebody such as evil as Hitler. So this is crazy, and this is why Black folks, particularly Black women, they use those fear tactics to have people all, oh my God, the president of the United States. I'm talking about what is it called? They call it a syndrome. Anywho, you're using this fearful tactic. Oh, if we don't elect Joe Biden, Hitler is in office. That is so insane to me.
Know who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House. That's it. I'm done. Oh, and by the way, if it's Biden in a coma, I'm going to vote for Biden in a coma. I don't even really particularly like the guy. A lot of his policies, don't like him. He's not Donald Trump, right? Yeah. Hitler, White House. We keeping him out. Keeping Project 2025 out. That's all I care about. Up and down the ballot, from the rooter to the tutor. School board, all the way up to White House and everything in between. Governors, members of Congress. I'm just going to vote all the way down to keep these people out. The project Project 2025 thing is the whole Republican Party. At this point, it's not about Biden. It is not about him. It's above me now. There's a Best Western next door. It is about keeping Donald Trump and his Project 2025 friends out of power. That's it for me, y'all. Y'all let me know what you think. And another thing, I've always got another thing. You guys do know that in 2020, y'all Democrats had choices of young people. You had a young LGBTQ guy, Mayor Pete. You had a Latino. You had Kamala Harris. You had Liz Warren. You had all these choices that were all younger than Biden, fresher and newer than Biden. And you know who y'all picked to be the president and the nominee? Joe Biden. He beat all the young people. So yes, we have a gerontocracy problem on the Democratic side. Way too many of these oldie goldies that don't seem to want to sit down and retire. But when given the choice between the young and fresh and Joe Biden, y'all picked Joe Biden. That was what you picked. So he's in there because Democrats actually picked him in the first place. So just keep that in mind, that you've been given options in the past, and this is what you picked.
That just because you've been given options in the past, hopefully you guys can hear me. Just because you were given options in the past, those same options may not be a viable options today. 2020 was 4 years ago. I might like ketchup yesterday, but 4 years from now, I might not like ketchup. Maybe I'm changing my diet. I am able to change my political aspirations, or can I not? Maybe I don't want Pete Buttigieg. Maybe I didn't like him. So she's saying all these points, just especially before I got cut off. Project 2025 is nothing bad about Project 2025. This document's been in existence for the longest. You're just mad because the Republican Party wrote this document, and it doesn't sound bad. What's wrong with holding the school system accountable for the things that they've been doing to our children for the last 15, 20 years, like not teaching them? We no longer are going to give you $20,000 to $30,000 a student if our children can't read. This is why Joy Reid, Taraji P. Henson, Kerry Washington, Michelle Obama, all these individuals have highly education, prestigious education. And all these individuals want you to send your kids to fail in schools. They don't believe in school choice. But Project 2025 talks about that. That's the plan, to get rid of the school system. We no longer are going to let the FBI, the IRS, and all these other alphabet agencies control, like it's Wild Wild West, charging people with crazy stuff and not have not give the rights to Americans. Less control from the government and more control to Americans. What is wrong with that? That's democracy. That's the American dream. What is wrong with that? But we still listen to this nut job. And she needs to put her wig back on. I think I already said that before, if you didn't hear me before. Joy Reid needs to put her wig back on. She looks horrible.
And nobody stepped up to choose to run against him in the primary. So once again, Democrats went out and voted and picked. If you try to undo that choice, like 57 million some odd Democrats voted in these primaries, so what are you going to do? You're going to just tell them, F off, we're going to pick somebody different that's not him, or Kamala Harris, who was on that ticket too, on those ballots? That's not democracy. This choice has been made. And so again, unless he decides to walk away, this is your choice. It's like when you go to a wedding, you got chicken or fish. You can eat chicken or fish or just be hungry. Or like when I was growing up in my house, it's what mom made for dinner or go to bed. There's your choices. You don't always get choices that you love. You get what mom made for dinner or take your ass to bed. And in this case,
well, that's not really democracy, and they can replace him. They can absolutely replace him if they feel like he is not of in sound mind. The delegates can replace him if they want to. Legally they can replace them. So Joy Reid is just, like I said, Trump derangement syndrome. If it had a picture with the definition, Joy Reid would be on that definition. She's going off in a tangent. She's ranting about, oh, we need not to elect, or we can not elect Donald Trump because he's Hitler somehow.
Now the Democratic candidate, not the...
This is her again.
Because while I will never gaslight you, I'm not going to be out here saying that you didn't see what you saw last Thursday on that debate stage. You saw it. I saw it. Everybody who frantically texted me saw it. And there are plenty of places that you can go to hear about whether and how the Democratic candidate, not the criminal candidate, should step aside. Y'all Democrats handle that. Figure it out and let me know. Because what I know is that Donald J. Trump cannot be allowed back into the White House. Full stop, period. Because Donald Trump is a dangerous, felonious wannabe autocrat who is vowing to release hundreds of violent insurrectionists from prison by pardoning them to open...
This is why I said, and this is why some of these comments in her, like she done lost her rockets. You're saying that these people, and they're talking about the January 6 people, which some of the Supreme Court overturned what they're charging them for. So some of these might be let out anyway, these individuals. They're not violent insurrectionists. They're just as violent as the BLM protesters. Just as violent. Tell me where I'm wrong at. Oh, they're threatening democracy. Come on. Have you seen some of that footage? Have you seen some of the footage? You have people walking in the aisles in the hallway of the Capitol building, taking pictures, selfies with the guards and stuff like that. That didn't seem violent. Now, you did have some people that lost their lives. And some of the people that were mass, this is why I think the election was rigged. And the more and more I get into it, I think the election was rigged. I think January 6th was staged. Some of the videos showed these masked men breaking up the windows, and some of the protesters tried to stop them from breaking up the windows. They even found, I don't know if it was a pipe bomb that never went off. And these protesters, they didn't reveal their face. Everybody else they prosecuted that they didn't have a mask on because they didn't have nothing to hide. These are people that they felt like their freedoms were being taken away, like the election was rigged. And more that when I talk about it, I think the election was rigged because they sound stupid. This really sounds stupid what she's saying. He's going to mass deportation. He should do mass deportation. What is wrong with that? Trump keeps praising dictators like Hitler and Kim Jong-un. I don't know if he's praising Hitler or not. I haven't heard of it. Kim Jong-un, he said something about him. I don't know if it was a praise. Trump promised to free the January 6th rioters. Trump allies plot revenge on Justice Department control in the second term. I'm not for sure if he's saying that either. All these words that they're saying is, words that they want to twist or they took it out of context. Anyway, and he said, yeah, I'll be hell of a dictator on day one. Yeah, he said he was going to be a dictator on day one. Just day one. They didn't finish the sentence because he said, I'm going to launch a mass deportation. He don't care what like Congress says. He's just going to do it. That's the only time he's going to be a dictatorship. And that's what I took from it. You guys might have thought he was saying something different. But anyway, this is why they're twisting, Donald Trump words. And this is why Joy Reid is kind of a crazy person.
But internment camps on U.S. soil and round up millions of undocumented migrants to put there. And stick the Justice Department on his declared enemies. He has called for the execution of people he doesn't like, including former Joint Chiefs Chairman Mark Milley. He has admitted he wants to be a dictator, like his favorite dictators, Vladimir Putin, China's Xi Jinping, and the dictator of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. And please spare me the on day one bit. They all vowed to be only a dictator on day one. Second, Project 2025 cannot be allowed to be implemented in the United States. It is straight up fascism, which would unleash the U.S. military on American citizens like an official death squad, turn the federal government into the equivalent of the Chinese parliament or the Russian Duma, where you have to take a personal oath to the official party.
This is a complete lie. She's lying about this. When it talks a lot about spending and no results, if you're mad about that, you something's wrong with you. But this is the problem with this. Joy Reid, I don't know how many viewers she has. She's talking to people that probably never read Project 25. They probably go on Joe Biden's website and put out these bullet points, or listen to Joy Reid and say, oh, Joy Reid said. And they're not going to even say Joy Reid. Some people are just as stupid. They're going to say, as a matter of fact, like they actually read the document, and they have not, because it says nothing of the sort.
And to the president to keep your job. It would unleash a national abortion ban, using federal agencies to end access to everything from contraceptives to IVF to books and more. It means turning this country literally into Gilead from The Handmaid's Tale, except with tariff-induced 100% inflation. And if you were to combine a Trump autocracy, a fully Christian nationalist Republican Party in control of both houses of Congress, and the current Supreme Court majority, well, Katie, bar the door and unleash the devil, because we would be finished as a democracy.
And then you're talking about economy. What's wrong? Your Joe Biden, she probably didn't read this. Joe Biden just initiated, he actually did a Trump thing. He initiated tariffs on China, 100% tariffs on some I guess costs or goods, and up to 75% on other things, and not precious metals, but like silicone or semiconductors that we use. He initiated tariffs on that. He totally did a Trump on that. That's messing up our economy. But you didn't mention anything about him. He literally, let me just pull it up. Biden initiate China tariffs. I think I talked about it. Tariff list. And he's this is the White House. He's just taking action. Biden takes action to protect American workers from China's unfair trade practices. EV chips. Remember I said EV chips? They're initiating tariffs on that. Electrical vehicles. And they're saying China has failed to increase American exports to boost American manufacturing. So he's doubling down. They said tariff rate on certain steel and aluminum products under Section 301 will increase to 25%. Semiconductors from 25 to 50%. EV, 25 to 100%. What are you talking about, Joy Reid? This is on your Biden's website, dude. I'm not making this up. This was just released in May the 14th, I believe. Let me just May the 14th of 2024. He's saying that China, maybe he's waking up and smelling the coffee, or somebody said, hey, Biden, if we're going to be sustained, if we're going to go ahead with your green initiative, China needs to start buying from us instead of we just buying from them. So anything that's imported from China, we're going to put tariffs on it. We're going to increase tariffs on it. Solar cells from 25 to 50%. Ship to shore cranes, 25% increase. It seems like whatever goods and services that's in medical products, PPE, 50%. 50%. That's what he announced today. He totally did this is the Donald Trump playbook, because Donald Trump believes in the American economy. And they was talking shit about Donald Trump. Remember that? Oh, you're gonna start a war. Well, what does Joe Biden do? Joe Biden did the exact same thing. What is Joe Biden doing? We own China. China own us. You know, what are they gonna do? Joe Biden did the exact same thing. Now everybody's still bringing up Donald Trump. Like he did the same damn thing Donald Trump did. It's Donald Trump's fault. That's that TDS syndrome. Anyway, talk about hate speech. Exactly. Jay Jones, the Dems are imploding and hiding. Biden got exposed. So now they are back to trying to put fear in Americans. They got to put the fear in Americans. That's facts. Okay, so that's Joy Reid out. That really was interesting. Another thing that ran across my feed is your girl Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett she's mad at Democrats too. She's mad at Democrats because she said, how dare you just throw this man by the wayside? Well, if you're not fit, if you're going to lead your people to stray, you're not throwing them by the wayside. You just telling them to step aside. This is why Republicans have 6 Supreme Court justices. And people are mad because it's 6 Republicans or conservative judges on the Supreme Court because they were playing checkers. 2 of those judges, reason why they elected other 2 officials, they retired while a Republican was in control, and that was Donald Trump. So he was able to elect 3 judges. So this is what you do. You make chess moves. If you want to really control something, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, I can't throw Joe Biden by the wayside, but Joe Biden is not good for your party. So you should be ushering him out and forming another candidate that could really, take the reins. But no, they want to sit there and talk shit about each other and get mad about each other. This is her.
You don't appreciate how they quote unquote performed. And here's the reality. If you are going to dump somebody because you don't appreciate how they quote unquote performed in 90 minutes, and you're going to discount everything that they've done for almost 50 years in this country, then honestly, it's not him that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the people that said that they had his back. The reality is that we see the Republicans will ride with a dude who's got 34 freaking felony convictions and over 50 more counts pending against him. People need to decide that they are going to choose themselves. And if they vote for Donald Trump, God bless us all, because he is only choosing him. That is all he's ever done. That's what he's going to continue to do. And to reward somebody for standing up there spewing lies and spewing nonsense is ridiculous. You don't have to be in love with the president, but you should be in love with yourself and say, I deserve more of democracy. I deserve more as it relates to my bodily autonomy. I deserve more as it relates to economic opportunities. The only person that even answered one economic question was Donald Trump. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just as crazy this morning.
You're absolutely right. The only person that answered the questions really was Donald Trump, and without steering in the wrong directions. I don't know where. At the end, Joe Biden kind of came on in. I guess his medication was kicking in, but you're right. Donald Trump answered economic questions, and you guys got mad at him because he said something about black jobs. You got mad at him. It's like just ridiculous.
was Joe Biden. Donald Trump wouldn't answer anything about the economy. Now, if people say the number one issue they have is the economy, you would think that they would at least say, well, he didn't answer anything about childcare. He didn't answer anything about making sure that there's more economic opportunities for black folk. He didn't answer anything on the economy. So why people think he better at it, I don't even know.
Jasmine Crockett, she's mad about that. Another thing I want to point out, not just about Jasmine Crockett, but just about Democrats. Jasmine Crockett mentioned you're going to throw somebody from the wayside off to the wayside just because of 90-minute debacle. Okay. What about the things that he did over the last 50 years? You sound like a damn fool. You as a black person sound like a fool. Joe Biden is the main reason why a lot of black men are locked up in prison today. Now, did they deserve to get locked up? Some of them. But, you given a far worse sentence because they were dealing crack cocaine versus a person that's just dealing cocaine. You call these people animals and from the jungle. What are you saying here? And people don't really realize, and they fail to mention that Democrats, it was the Deep South Democrats that wanted to keep slavery going. So and you live in the South. You're from Texas. Does that make any sense for a black woman to be even a Democrat? It doesn't make any sense. So you had Jasmine Crockett, then it says Biden accidentally admits that he met with the doctor after the disastrous debate just hours after the White House press secretary claimed he didn't had a medical exam since February. You could literally can't trust a single word this admin says during this phone call. It says during the phone call with the Democrat governors on Wednesday, Biden said he was cleared by the doctor after the debate. Early in the day, KJP claimed that Biden hadn't met with the medical exam or hadn't had a medical exam since February. The White House is now scrambling and saying that what they meant to say was Biden hadn't had a physical since February. Since days later, the president was seen to check on his cold and was recovering well. So that's what they're saying. That's why his throat was messed up, because he had a cold. Who believes it? So this is a 2-minute exchange with one of the reporters.
Transparent.
I wanted to clarify one thing. I know you got a lot of questions about this issue yesterday. Has the president had any medical exams since his last annual physical in February?
And we were able to talk to his doctor about that, and that is a no.
He hasn't had any kind of medical exam?
No.
So the White House has said no to releasing the full results of that annual. Said no to making Dr. O'Connor available for questions from us. No to releasing any other information that would shed some more light on the president's health. I guess I'm just wondering if now is not the time for full transparency. When is?
So I would say, MJ, to your question, that what we have released over the past 3 years, every year since he's been in office, has been transparent, and it has been comprehensive. It has been one of the most transparent. We have been one of the most transparent administration when it comes to medical records. That is what we've been able to do. And I would add that it is not the norm to bring the doctor to the podium. That is not the norm. And we have owned up. This president directly has owned up to what happened at the debate last Thursday. He's talked about it multiple times, and directly to supporters, directly to the American people. And what we want to do is continue to certainly deliver on the record accomplishments that we've been able to do.
I understand that you feel like the White House has been thorough in the medical records that you all have released, but obviously you're getting these questions in large part because of what we saw for 90 minutes on Thursday night and people's responses to what they saw, right? A lot of people expressing shock. So why not release more information? What would be the downside?
Look, what I can tell you is that we have been transparent. We'll continue to be transparent, and that's what I can share with all of you.
I agree that he should release his medical records. No, but if you're the president of the United States, I would, you could handle this differently if he's clear and of sound mind. If he's tip-top shape, you could dispel all the rumors that he's not in tip-top shape. But we got to realize that not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden, he's 81 and he will be 85 or 86 if he's elected. And I mean, most men, they don't live past 78. I think that's the average age that a man dies. So and we could say that about Donald Trump. But the vast difference between Donald Trump is you could physically or visibly see that Donald Trump is tip-top shape. He's coherent. You could ask him questions and he answered the question. So don't know, they're trying to cover it up and scramble. Don't know why they're doing that. I think what they need to do is just save Donald Trump. I mean, what's his name? Joe Biden from the embarrassment and kind of move him aside and try to usher somebody else in. But I think they're thinking Joe Biden is the only one to beat Donald Trump. That's what I'm thinking. But his numbers are falling drastically. Now, I'm going to show you, this is Fox News, and they were talking to Kathy Hochul. I think this is Bashir, this guy right here. I don't know who this guy is in the middle. You guys chime in. But these are the governors that met with Donald Trump actually at the White House. Then they had some people tuned in virtually. Whitmer was on there. Pritzker from Illinois. They had several other governors throughout the country that met. And I guess these are the governors that's on the short list, just in case somebody needs to step in and act as or take the race over, the presidential race over. And so this is what they said.
President Biden meeting with Democrat governors. Let's listen live. They just saw the president of the United States.
Not theoretical for governors. We've served when Donald Trump was president, and the threats to our nation were real. And so those concerns are real to us. And what we understand was a Trump presidency was chaos, destruction. A Biden presidency was dealing with COVID, using the science, investing in infrastructure, and working to the middle class. And all of us are trying to figure out and just want to make sure as governors, we're on the front line of many of these things. We're in states, whether they're swing states or not, where folks care and are giving us feedback. And the feedback was we are all looking for the path to win. All the governors agree with that. President Biden agrees with that. He has had our backs through COVID, through all of the recovery, all of the things that have happened. The governors have his back, and we're working together just to make very, very clear on that. A path to victory in November is the #1 priority, and that's the #1 priority of the president. So that's what we're trying to get done. The feedback was good. The conversation was honest and open, and the actions that will come out of that will make sure that we're getting that message out. With that, Governor Moore.
Thank you so much. It was a great conversation with the president and the vice president because it was honest. It was candid. I think that we always believe that when you love someone, you tell them the truth. And I think we came in and we were honest about the feedback that we were getting. We were honest about the concerns that we were hearing from people. And we were also honest about the fact that as the president continued to tell us and show us that he was all in, that we said that we would stand with him. Because as Governor Walz said, the president has always had our backs. We're going to have his back as well. Because
they sound kind of crazy. He's going to have our backs and we're going to, like, they're in a marriage. Like, my husband lost his job. I don't want to jump ship. That's what you're supposed to do. But we're talking about, I don't know why they did that. We're talking about,
Fiverr freelancers handle all my video editing.
My bad.
Breaking news: President Biden meeting with
We're
Democrat
talking
governors.
about
Let's listen live. They just saw the president of the United States.
Very, very clear.
What am I getting at? We're talking about the country. We're talking about country. If you really want to hold power, and I don't want them to hold power, I really do want Donald Trump to win. But if you really think logically, that's why I think these people are not thinking sanely. You would make moves so you could win collectively. You're not going to win collectively if you have a Republican in the office. You're not. Especially if the Republicans hold the majority seats in the House and the Senate, you're not going to win. Now you got to, and I'm hearing talks now, they got to put forth those efforts to make sure that those seats, those Democratic seats, they still maintain those seats. But since this is wartime, and especially between the Israel and Palestinian war, some people don't like that. So you have Jewish PACs, super PACs that's putting their money to get those extreme, I guess the Super Five or whatever you call it, Squad Five, out of their seats, and they succeeded with Bowman. AOC, I think she has a challenger. She might be unseated, but I'm not for sure. Those people are crazy over there in her district, so she might win. But you have Cori Bush on the line. Tlaib, she will always win. It's like 95% Palestinians in her area, so she'll never be unseated unless it's another person like her. But what I'm getting at is, you sound crazy. You're not married to the man. The country is a business. So if you think about a business, you're just taking down your business. The head of the CEO is suffering, has a medical condition, and he's suffering, and you just letting him bring your business down. That's what it sounds like. Or we're going to support behind him. We're going to rally behind him. And you rather take a person that's not a sound mind over a person that has business acumen and is of sound mind, then you're like, well, what the hell? What the hell to this country? So you can't just say you believe in American democracy. You can't say you believe in America because of the things that you're doing to America. This is not right.
On that, a path to victory in November is the #1 priority, and that's the #1 priority of the president. We're getting that message out. With that, Governor Moore.
Thank you so much. It was a great conversation with the president and the vice president because it was honest. It was candid. I think that we always believe that when you love someone, you tell them the truth. And I think we came in and we were honest about the feedback that we were getting. We were honest about the concerns that we were hearing from people. And we were also honest about the fact that as the president continued to tell us and show us that he was all in, that we said that we would stand with him. Because as Governor Walz said, the president has always had our backs. We're going to have his back as well. Because the results that we've been able to see under this administration have been undeniable in all of our individual states. But the thing that makes us most optimistic and most hopeful is not necessarily that we're afraid of an alternative, but also is that we're hopeful for the future. And so we know we have work to do. We know that as we're standing right here, we're behind. But we also know that that path to be able to make sure that we can pull ahead in November is real, and it's going to take all of us in order to make it happen and to make it work. And we're grateful to hear the level of excitement and the focus that the President and the Vice President have about being victorious in November. And with that, I'll turn it over to Governor Hochul.
Thank you. Representing states like New York and all across America, we came together tonight to listen to President Biden tell us in his own words what his plans were. I'm here to tell you today, President Joe Biden is in it to win it. And all of us said we pledged our support to him.
Now you're going to hear "in it to win it" over and over again. President Joe Biden, he's sharp as a tack. He's in it to win it. That's what we're going to hear. That's what we're going to hear. This is just like parrots repeating, spreading propaganda. So everyone that's a Democrat, they're going like, President Joe Biden is in it to win it. Shut up. You make some other words up. You don't have to say the same shit that your other guy said. Just make, okay, President Joe Biden, he's not going to give up. He's going to go to the finish line. He's going to beat Donald Trump. And we're going to take our democracy back. But you don't have to repeat "in it to win it." The shit is ridiculous. You sound stupid.
Because the stakes could not be higher. On the eve of the fourth,
just sheep, the sheep, and they just follow each other. It's just disgusting to me.
4th of July celebration, we talk about how we transition under a monarchy and a tyranny that our founding fathers fought against, that we risk right now descending back into that very same place. We will stand with the president as we fight that force being Donald Trump. And together, we'll make sure that Americans know not just what Joe Biden did for all of us, and the list of what he did for my state of New York is extraordinarily long, but where he's going for the future and where he's going to take this country. We feel very confident in his abilities. We talked about the plan.
The list that he did to New York State is extraordinarily long. You have Amazon, the most woke corporation probably in the world. They stopped production there or building their headquarters there because you full of shit. New York is a shithole because of your, I guess, your asylum seekers, safe haven for asylum seekers. I just saw a video where this guy, and these were immigrants, jumping on another guy, just stomping on his head. This is in New York, Times Square. And he's done so much for the city of New York, the state of New York. You sound stupid. But this is the same lady that said black kids in the Bronx don't know what computers are. That's the same lady.
Plan and how he's going to be very focused on issues that matter to Americans, and I felt very confident coming out of this meeting as well.
Is he fit for office? Do you think he's fit for office?
Yes, he's fit for office. The president has 3.5 years of delivering for us, going through what we've all been through. None of us are denying. Thursday night was a bad performance. It was a bad hit, if you will, on that. But it doesn't impact what I believe he's delivering.
Bad debate versus a debacle because you're not in sound mind. I think it's two different things. I could have a bad debate because I never debated before. Well, according to my husband, he said I would be an excellent lawyer because I always like to argue. According to my husband, I guess I don't lose no debates. But what I'm saying is I could have a bad debate. You could say my debate would be bad, or any other politicians. Oh, they had a bad debate. They're not good at debating. But we're talking about a guy, Joe Biden. Joe Biden debate wasn't bad. It was horrible. It was horrific. It was cringe. It was incoherent. That's not a bad debate. That was horrible.
In your own party, what would you say to people in your own party who say
say the game is up, enough's enough?
No, I would say this. In November, we've got a clear choice. The president was very clear that he is in this to win this. And the president is our nominee. The president is our party leader. And the president has told us, and he was very clear back there, that he is in this to win this. And so for people, I would say, and listen, we're governors. We don't do hand-wringing. That's not what we do. Governors work and get things done. Governors say, tell me the objective, and we're going to make sure that we accomplish the objective. And so for people who are concerned, I just want to be very clear on something. And come November, we've got a binary choice. And the binary choice is between someone who has continually delivered for us and our states and the people of our states, and frankly, someone whose vision for the future of this country is...
Let's talk about Baltimore, not all Maryland places, because actually Maryland has one of the richest Black city in America. The richest Black city. So we can't just say, oh, Maryland, the whole city is, or the whole state is crappy. But Baltimore, let's just talk about Baltimore. You're talking about delivering to your city and state. Baltimore is a piece of shit. PG County or whatever they call it. Piece of shit. Them kids, none of them kids can't read. I don't know if you guys know. None of the kids, none of the schools pass proficient exams. Math, none of them. It was 0% passing from I guess preschool all the way up to 12th grade. None of the schools were passing proficient math or passing in math proficiently or in reading. So you're talking about, you got one of the worst performing cities in America. And you're talking about Joe Biden delivered to you. He sounds stupid.
Accomplish the objective. And so for people who are concerned, I just want to be very clear on something. And come November, we've got a binary choice. And the binary choice is between someone who has continually delivered for us and our states and the people of our states, and frankly, someone whose vision for the future of this country is downright dangerous. And so I would tell people it is time to mount up. And it is time to get serious and understand what's at stake.
What did you ask President Biden to do to regain the confidence of voters?
How did the president explain his debate performance to you on Thursday night? And does he understand the stakes? Did he speak about?
Yeah, he did. He said, look, he didn't listen to himself, and I thought he gave a great example. And when he said, look, I'm worrying about numbers on this. It's about people. It's about their lives. This is Joe from Scranton. He talks about building the middle class. He did it. He delivered. And I think this idea
he's destroying the middle class. He's destroying the middle class. I just pulled up Project 25. This is just education. This is just education, and they, like I said, this is a 900-page document. Mandate for leadership, the conservative promise, advancing education freedom, empowering families to choose among the diverse set of education options is the key to reform and improve outcomes. And it can be achieved without establishing a new federal program. We are taking away from the federal government and putting it back in the hands of the state and the people. For example, portability of existing federal education spending to fund families directly, or allowing federal tax credits to encourage voluntary contribution to K and 12 through 12 education savings account managed by charitable nonprofits could significantly advance education choice. I'm not for sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing. We know charter schools are not that great either. In the inner city, we got a charter school out here that's not great either. So it all depends. I would like to see more oversight with that. Providing education choice for federal children. They're talking about military families. Responsibility for serving these students should be housed in agencies that are already serving these families. Restoring state and local control over education funding. A lot of times they don't have the I guess the power to change who gets these dollars for education. So that's the problem. Washington began to downsize its intervention in education because it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked since it's been in existence. It hasn't worked. As a matter of fact, it's so bad that, like I said, who's suffering? Urban cities are suffering. Even if you check the schools out here in my I live in a suburban community. If you go onto that education, I guess they give them a grade 5-star to 3-star. They like 3.5 stars. They're not that great either. And this is a state-ran school. Treating taxpayers like investors in federal student aid. We are investors. We are investors. Taxpayers should expect their investment in higher educations to generate economic productivity. When the federal government lends money to individuals for a post-secondary education, taxpayers should expect those borrowers to pay. Yeah. You don't just get a loan and not repay it. This is common sense, folks. This is not like a demise on democracy. Hey, I got a loan, I got to pay it back. Now, what they can do is change that interest rate. They know they're wrong about the interest rate. Oh, we're not going to accumulate interest rate while you're in school. If you're on deferment, I think they should kick that interest rate. And I also think when they're doing your payment, if you're actually on a repayment plan, some of that shit should go to your principal. I don't know if you guys are knowledgeable about student loans or any type of loan from the government. They pay off the interest first, which is unfair to the person. Even with a mortgage, even though most of the stuff goes to interest, but like a smaller portion goes to the principal. So eventually you end up paying it down, not with federal student loans. So it's actually highway robbery. You're robbing from children, really. Anyway, you should pay it back. Protecting the federal student loan portfolio from predatory politicians. The new administration must end the practices of acting like the federal student loan portfolio is a campaign to curry politicians' support the vote. Okay. He's talking about how Joe Biden said, oh, I get you a student loan program or student loan forgiveness. Safeguarding civil rights. Enforcements of civil rights should be used on a proper understanding of those laws, rejecting gender ideology. So that's why you're saying it's a threat to our democracy. It's dangerous because they don't want to acknowledge gender ideology. You're not special because you're gay. I'm sorry. I've said it many, many times before. You are just as special as a person being Black. You're not special. If you're Black, you're not special. If you're white, you're not special. You're a person. You're a person. Only person special is like Jesus Christ. That's especially, he turned water into wine. Those are special people. Now we could say, okay, mothers are special. We're going to honor them. Fathers are special because they're building up this community. They're cultivating children to lead the way. Okay, we could say those people are special. Dr. Martin Luther King, that's a special person. Somebody that contributes to society and raise up a generation so they could be productive and contribute to society. Those are special people. But just because you're saying, oh, I'm non-binary. No, you're not special. I agree. Critical race theory. Yeah, I agree with that too. And stop executive overreaching. They're talking about reforms. It says just 27% of 8th graders were proficient in math in 2020. So you don't think our education needs reform? 27%. That's not just Black folks, you guys. That's everybody. You should be mad as hell. If you raising a kid, test them on the math. At 8th grade, you should be probably learning algebra in 8th grade. If your kids ain't learning algebra by 8th grade, something's wrong. And maybe not algebra. Let's say, what is it? Geometry. Is algebra before geometry? I'm not for sure. My kids one of my kids, he's in advanced math. So I don't know. Maybe I'm far removed. But just 27% of 8th graders were proficient. And just 31% of 8th graders scored proficient in reading. So y'all damn kids can't read. And I'm saying, y'all, it could be my kid. But I make my kids read every day. I don't play that shit. You read every day, and if I feel like you BSing, you reading to me out loud. And they got to write every day. So I mean, what's wrong with that? Is this plan dangerous? We want our kids to read. That's a dangerous plan. How dare you? You want these niggas to read? That's just ridiculous. Anyway, I don't think it's dangerous. Jim Miller said higher education is a record with disastrous outcome. I totally agree with you because of the loans and the deficit. It costs too much, and then they allow these children to sign up for these damn degrees that don't make them any money. I major in social justice, diversity and inclusion major. Diversity and inclusion law, LGBTQ law, discriminatory law. You've been discriminated against at this age is pretty pointless. You know, it's so many other companies that is willing to accept you. Why even go? Why would you even want to be where you don't want to be? They don't want you. That's just like spending your money, giving your money to somewhere and they treating you bad. Don't spend your money there. You don't have to force them to service you. That's some bullshit. Sam Akin, thank you for your super chat. There is no discipline at home, no discipline at school. The parents who could not read 25 years ago are the ones raising the kids today. You're correct. But the difference between the parents that didn't or could not read, maybe I would say maybe 40 years ago. 40 years ago, well, we could say Ben Carson. We'll use him as an example. You know, he's from Detroit. Ben Carson is a neurosurgeon, brain surgeon or something like that. You know, he got into politics, but he's a neurosurgeon. His mother, he said his mother, he had no idea that his mother could not read. His mother used to make him read a book, and he had to give her oral reports, do an oral book report. And she would be asking him questions like she read the book. He didn't have, I think he said he didn't realize till he became an adult that his mother couldn't read. So we had parents back then were different. Oh, just because I couldn't read, you gonna read. You're gonna make something out of yourself. You're not gonna be here like I'm here. Maybe I'm on the welfare system, but I want you to succeed just like me, or greater than me, greater than I have. I want you to get out the ghetto. Now I don't know what they're doing. The parents can't read, the kids can't read, but they could do twerking. They know how all the lyrics to Sexy Red. They know all the lyrics to Sexy Red, and they want to be social media stars. I guess that's what this generation they want. They want views and clicks and to be famous, insta famous. One last thing before I let you go. I don't want to hold you guys too long. Let me see how long I've been going on. Okay, an hour and 20 minutes. Just one last thing before I let you go. To me, this is crazy. What is this? I'll talk about that tomorrow. This is crazy. Waka Flocka, he gave a concert. And this is wild. Waka Flocka said to his people, all the Joe Biden voters get out. We gonna party right for T24. He said he don't even want you to entertain the Joe Biden supporters. He told them to get their asses out.
We're gonna see all my Joe Biden voters to get out. See y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all. We're gonna see y'all at the bingo game. We're gonna party right now for our fucking president T24, man. It's a motherfucking party. What's up?
He said we gonna party for T24. So they mad at him for doing that. I don't know how many people following him or was at that party that was Joe Biden supporters, but it's his show. Yeah, it is his show. So what can you say about that? I said I was gonna, this was my last thing, you guys, but I did want to show this before. This to me, I couldn't believe this was real. I thought it was funny. This was in a church. Somebody posted, Donald Trump has Democrats crashing out during worship service. This is sick. Who would attend this church?
He really is considered. Oh,
Disclaimer, the music is usually when you go to a black church, they can actually sing. This singing is horrible.
How many of you know that even on today, that Donald Trump, hallelujah, he got 34 counts, and he's a felon. How many of you know that, hallelujah, that a felon really can't even supposed to be running for a president? Is that right? He really is considered a 3-time loser. Hallelujah, Jesus. But in the state of New York, we showed him. Hallelujah. Hey, God. Hallelujah. That nobody gets away. So we're running. We're running. The prayers of the righteous avail as much. The prayers of the righteous avail as much. Y'all better act like y'all know. Hallelujah.
What was that? And it's like, is this real? Like, is this real? But no, that was real. I can't take it. But this is what black folks is doing. They made a song about Donald Trump in the church. What happened to separation of church from state? What happened to that? Anyway, that's what we got today. You guys, I really appreciate you for joining me in my live stream. Hopefully you have a great holiday. I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. or no, 8:30 p.m. for our live stream. And I'm sending all my
How many of you know that even on